Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and today I'm doing a list that I know is going to interest some people and upset others, and it is what it is. It has to be done. This is my top 25 films that desperately need a remake. I know this is going to be controversial because there are people out there who are just closed-minded to the idea of remakes at all. Those people are not going to watch this video. Unless they're just doing so to hate watch, which, fine by me, I guess. Number 25 is The Wizard of Oz. Now, before you raise a finger and say, excuse me, there's already 30 different versions of The Wizard of Oz. Yes, I know this. I don't want another remake of The Wizard of Oz based on the book or based on the characters. I want a true and proper remake of the MGM Judy Garland classic. What I mean by that is I want the opening in black and white. I want Oz in color. I want the exact same songs. I want the exact same shots. I want the exact same acting and lines and dialogue and everything else. I want that movie remade with a modern cast. And that's it. That's all I want. I don't even want modern special effects. I want you to use puppets and strings and, cardboard cutouts like they did. You're thinking, if you're just going to go that route, why even bother remaking it? Because it's what I want. Number 24 is another one you're going to roll your eyes at because it's been done to death. But I'm talking about Dracula. And again, I don't want a remake. I don't want another interpretation of the book. I want a proper remake, shot for shot, of the original 1934 Universal Dracula. Or was it 33? Anyways, the original Dracula. I don't necessarily need this to be in black and white, and I'm okay with them using modern special effects. I just want this movie redone. I want it to be the same movie. I don't want news. I like the Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. Yes, sure, it's a good movie. But I don't want that. I want the original Universal Dracula redone shot for shot, line for line, scene for scene, just with a modern cast and modern special effects. Number 23. This one is going to raise some eyebrows if you're still watching this video. I want Smokey and the Bandit, goddammit. I want a modern Smokey and the Bandit done with modern comedians. And yes, I want a female Smokey and a female Bandit. So I want is it Melissa McCarthy? I want Melissa McCarthy to be the Smokey. And I think I'd like Tina Fey to be the Bandit. That would be pretty fucking awesome. But I want them to update it to where they're going from a state that has marijuana to a state that doesn't have marijuana, and they're shipping a truckload of fucking pot. That's what I want. But I want mostly the same jokes, mostly the same plot, mostly the same beats. Not updated enough, but I want it to be Smokey and the Bandit. Not just another car chase movie. I want an actual Smokey and the Bandit. And if any surviving cast members of the original want to make a cameo, I'm down for that. Number 22 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What I want is a remake of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie that predated the TV show with the surviving members of the actual members of the TV show cast. And yes, I want you to CGI their faces so they look like they're 16 again. That's what I want. So we can have a proper Joss Whedon introduction to the Buffy Vampire Slayer TV series, telling the story beats from that movie, but making necessary changes so that it fits the canon of the TV show. This is a stretch. This is one I'll put under never gonna happen, but I still want to see it. Number 21, we just got a modern sequel to this, but I still want a shot-for-shot well, not shot-for-shot, but I want a modern remake with modern cast of She's All That. I love She's All That. And I feel like that movie is very dated to the 90s, and I'd like to see a modern retelling of that same story with the same characters, but not necessarily the same cast. So I want that story retold just with younger people, updated to a modern sensibilities. Number 20, I don't know how this is going to work because it's a cartoon. but I want to see a remake of Shrek. I want it done, yes, using computer animation, CGI, and I want it to be mostly references to the original Shrek. So I want like more like a reboot or a requel in that I don't care if they bring in new cast and I don't or new voice actors, and I don't care if they change the story as needed to make it feel fresh. I just want another fucking Shrek, and I want them to do it in a way they can bring back the original cast if they want, but I want them to do it in a way that they can literally retell that first Shrek and, update it. Try again. Number 19 is a movie I don't like at all. And I haven't talked about how much I don't like it, except for maybe once or twice. But I feel like if it got remade with modern technology, updated to modern sensibilities, there's a chance I might enjoy it better than the original. And this is E.T. Don't at me. I don't like E.T. You're not going to change my mind. Number 18 is Street Fighter. Now, this is another one where I want a modern remake of the 1993, I think it is, 94, Street Fighter movie. I want the same story, the same characters, yes, I want that movie remade with modern special effects and modern actors. I don't want another Street Fighter movie based on the video game, more accurate to the video game. We've already had that a couple times. I just want that movie redone. Likewise, number 17 is Super Mario Brothers. Again, I want two things. One, I want them to remake that movie, but do it good. This time, good special effects and just a few more references from the video games. But I liked that story and those characters. I liked that interpretation of Super Mario Brothers. I was okay with it for the most part. I would like to see that updated. Not CGI, I mean with live actors. And then, separate from that, I want the proper sequel we never fucking got. Which we can't get now because too many people of the original cast are dead. Number 16, I want a modern, gender-swapped remake of Weird Science. Gender-swapped meaning I want two teenage girl nerds using tablets, or whatever the modern equivalent is, to create the ideal buff, dude. And tell basically the same story, but with modern jokes and maybe some less problematic stuff. Same thing I want from number 15 is The Breakfast Club. Just redo that movie. Same characters, same setting, same story beats, updated as needed, but with a modern cast and some modern music. I would be okay with that. And yes, I would be okay with Judd Nelson coming back as the principal. I think that would be fucking poetic. God damn, that would be good. Number 14 is another one that some people are going to roll their eyes at because it's got 10,000 sequels in a TV show. Why would we want to remake the original? Blah, blah, blah. It's Tremors. I want to see Tremors done with modern action stars, not fucking Kevin Bacon, but actual action stars. I want it done with actual gore. I want an R-rated Tremors with real gore and real blood and, more racy nudity and a darker, more horror tone. I don't want a fucking action adventure comedy kind of almost horror question mark. I want a proper horror movie. Tremors. Number 13 is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I still want it remade, and this is The Faculty. The Faculty is very fucking 90s, but the story is very fucking timeless. And I think very appropriate for today's audiences. So I think The Faculty deserves a modern retelling. Number 12 is one that I only mentioned because of the modern House Party remake, which seems to have done well in its own right. I'd like to see Friday redone. Friday was a day in the life in the hood in 1996. Let's see what a day in the life in the hood looks like in 2024 or 2025, whenever this movie comes out. Let's see how times have changed. Have they improved? Have they changed? Are they worse? What's different? I'd like to see that. Number 11, I would like to see a remake of Revenge of the Nerds, minus all the problematic bullshit that bogs down Revenge of the Nerds, updated to a more, yes, woke, enlightened establishment. You know, maybe with some better LGBT representation, some better people of color representation, and maybe some gender swap roles. And yes, again, if there are any surviving cast members who want to make cameos, I'm down for that. Number 10 is another one that has kind of already been done, but I don't think it was done right, and I'd like to see it done right. And this is The Terminator. I love The Terminator. Don't get me wrong. I love the trilogy. The first 3 Terminator movies make a good trilogy. And yes, Arnold is the glue that holds them together. However, I think that first Terminator movie is very dated, not just in its references, its cultural depictions, its music, etc. I think it's also dated in its, based on our current understanding of artificial intelligence and robots and automated weapons and things, but it's also dated in the look, the special effects, the music, etc. That movie's just fucking dated. It's a time capsule in 1984. And it was made during the Cold War when it was Cold War sensibilities. Let's see what a modern remake does with it. And they can make any changes they want. And I do not want Arnold in it at all. I don't even want him executive producing it. I don't want him to have anything to do with it. He has had his time with the Terminator franchise. And if you even say the name James Cameron, I will punch you in the face. I don't want him touching it either. Number 9 is Alien. This one I can do without. But I would love to see what a modern filmmaker can do with modern technology. And yes, I do mean CGI. I would like to see Alien redone. The original story, the original movie, with a new actress playing Ripley. Yes, Ripley has to come back, but I don't care who they cast. I have a few preferences. And I'll say it. I'd like to see Jennifer Lawrence do it. She won't, but I'd like to see it. But I think an Alien remake would be damn good. Number 8. Okay, I fucked up. I put Dracula on the list twice, but I did so for a reason. And the reason was I didn't know which one I wanted to put at which rank. But I want to see a remake of the Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. That interpretation. So I want 2 remakes of Dracula. Number 7, I just talked about this movie on Horror Trends, so go watch that video. I'd like to see a remake of Rosemary's Baby. I want it done without the occult bullshit, and I'd like to see what a modern Rosemary's Baby can look like with a modern horror, like an Eli Roth or somebody doing it. Number 6 pains me to say, because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. It's Gremlins. I love Gremlins, and I think it's a perfect movie as is. But I would still like to see it redone with modern times. The same story, basically, but if you're going to redo the bar scene, let's make it look like today. Let's not make it so stinking dated. And let's use CGI Gremlins. But I still want a live-action movie. And we can use a puppet for Gizmo. Gizmo needs to be a puppet. The Gremlins need to be CGI, and I will stand by that. Come on. It's not going to get made if it has a $300 million budget, which it will if they're using animatronics. Number 5 is one that has kind of already been done in a roundabout way, but I want to see a proper remake with a modern filmmaker, and it can be anybody. I won't put a name on it. Except for Christopher Nolan. I don't want him to do it. But anyone else, I'd be okay with. Even Martin Scorsese would be okay at it. I don't give a shit who does it. If he's even still alive. I want to see a remake, a proper remake of Star Trek, the motion picture. That movie blows fucking chunks out its ass, licks them up, barfs them up, licks them up again, and shits them back out. That movie sucks that bad. I'd like to see that done with a modern cast, modern special effects, modern editing, and modern pacing. Make it actually fucking watchable. Number 4 is The Mask, and I'm specifically talking about the Jim Carrey Mask. But I don't want a remake of that movie. I want a new Mask based on the comic. I want a bloody, R-rated, gory as fuck reinterpretation of that movie. It could be the same story beats for all I care, with the same gags. Just give me some fucking gore. Because it's offensive to me that New Line Cinema, the house that Freddy built, made a PG-13 movie based on a gory comic book. For fuck's sake. The next 3 movies are going to really piss people off, but they desperately need remakes. Desperately. Desperately. Number 3 is Jaws. Don't at me. It is so goddamn dated. They need new actors, new special effects. They can build a better robot shark if they want, or they can go Meg style and do CGI, which looks damn good on its own. I don't give a shit. But I want Jaws redone. The original Jaws. More or less, shot for shot, but let's make some changes as needed to make it better. But yeah, I'd like to see a remake of Jaws. Number 2 is where I'm going to lose whoever's still watching this video. So you might not even get to number 1, but I hope you do, because number 1 is the most needed of a remake, because it is, yes. But number 2 is, drum roll please, Back to the Future. This needs to be done with, again, modern actors, surviving cast, making cameos as needed, but modern actors, a modern updated story, and yes, let's go back to the fucking 80s this time and have some fun with it. The number 1 movie in most desperate need of a remake was groundbreaking the day it was released and was fucking dated 2 weeks later. And this is probably regarded by many, myself included, as the greatest film of all time. And this is the one movie I've heard people say is remake proof, which I think is bullshit. This movie desperately needs a remake for more reasons than I can get into in this video. It should have got its own video. This is Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. If you're still watching this, bear with me. I have my reasons. Not the least of which is because the story has gotten so fucking goddamn convoluted, and Jesus Christ, the special effects in that movie are so fucking dated. They were dated the day Alien came out. And that was only, what, a year, 2 years later? So yes, Star Wars: A New Hope needs a remake. But it also needs a remake, and it can be shot for shot for all I care, making changes as needed, updating as needed, with modern costumes, modern special effects, a mixture of practical and CGI as needed, and models as well as needed, and modern actors. And the reason why Star Wars needs a remake is because Disney, who now owns Star Wars, needs to remake the entire saga. The entire all 9 saga. They need to remake it with a new cast, ignoring the events of the fan fiction, 7, 8, and 9, ignoring the events of those 3, remaking 1 through 6 with a modern cast, and then remaking 7, 8, 9, continuing the story that George Lucas laid out, and just letting the story he wanted to be told get fucking told. It's his goddamn idea. The gall, the nerve of these arrogant motherfuckers to think they can do Star Wars better than the man who created it. At the very least, let's start over from scratch and refresh it. Give it a proper fucking refresh. Because we don't need the formation of the Republic. We don't need Knights of the Old Republic. We don't need any more goddamn Andor or Mandalorian. Jesus fucking Christ. And I am going to say this, and I don't care who I piss off. The Clone Wars has been overdone, overexplored. We don't need any more stories told in the Clone Wars period. We've done it to death. Let's move the fuck on. If we're going to get stuck in the past, let's do it right.